All right, let me start the recording. It's recording now. So let's make a formal introduction for our listeners. Good afternoon, Iris. My name is Claudia. I'm calling you from Washington, D.C. From the still Fairfax City. We are very humble and grateful that Iris Camaa accepted our invitation to our show. Iris, welcome to the show.
Hello, Claudio. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How's the best way to pronounce your last name?
Kama.
Camaa. Where your family come from? That's Arabic or Lebanese name or no?
My family? Oh, they're coming from Carinthia, from south of Austria,
Yeah, I got you. For you.
close to Italy.
Oh, I see. I see. How many languages do you speak, Iris? How many languages do you speak? Like
Well,
three or
more or
four?
less five. More or less five. I
Yeah,
mean, not perfect, but people understand what I try to say.
okay, very impressive, man. So with everything that's going on in the world, with the pandemic and people dying and vaccine not available, how is this affecting your life, your personal life, your creativity, your music?
Actually, I always try to stay positive first of all, and I try to keep moving. Of course, we can't be on stage, which it's a real pity because we're used to perform and we're trying to spread good vibes and good energy with the audience.
Yeah,
But of course, it's not possible at the moment. And I think a streaming concert is not the same like you go to a live event.
yeah,
So when this all started, I said to myself, make a list of a to-do list
yeah,
and start to do all the things you always wanted to do. And yeah, out of this, I could manage to finish certain things, but a lot of new stuff came up. And so I try to keep moving and I try to be creative in different ways, like with my furniture, with my fashion and photography. And now we are still recording and we're rehearsing, but you're not on stage, so why not to do something similar to art and music?
yeah, man, that'll keep you busy, man. You
Oh,
cannot
yes.
you don't have a boring life. You're always doing stuff, man. So where
Yes,
where
I was thinking it takes, yeah.
go ahead. No.
I thought it would take 2 more years to finish all the plans I had, so I try to be quick, but, one thing after the other.
Yeah, I got you. Were you born like in a musical family at home?
I think my mom and my sister, they have a talent for singing too. They have
Yeah,
a very musical ear. And I heard that my dad in the military played the small drum. He
yeah,
never told me this huge secret. So I think they have a talent, but they are not. They are no musicians, or
yeah.
it's just like they love music, and sometimes we sing something together just for fun. But none of them has become a musician. But I knew my mother's dream was to become a singer, but she never did it.
Really? Well, now they have you.
Yes.
So how did it? My understanding is you were early in your career. You were like a dancer, right? Before you began playing percussion and the beat drum. How did it go with that? How?
Yeah, I loved it. I always thought that I would be in that dancing business or shows, hip hop performances like this. But one day, well, one of the other, one day you think you change your way, and there's something else coming up, which is in a way similar to dancing, which is music. It was time for change, and I loved what I did before, and I love what I do now. So sometimes, there's an open way, and then you say left or right, and then something else is coming. So that's why I've changed. But my heart, of course, is always there when I see a dance show. That I'm still like, could do a choreography, and so I'm inspired.
Are you still involved in
Yeah.
that kind of stuff or no anymore? Kind of dance studios or shows?
I, I did.
Are you still involved with that? With which dancing or shows?
Yeah.
No.
sometimes we need little choreographies at certain shows, but not like in a dance company. So very seldom. But still, if you move on stage, there's a little something of it. It's always part of yourself, and you don't get rid of it. It's a part of your heart.
I got you. And then when did you begin? What came first, the musical instrument and playing drum, percussion, or voice or singing? Or you were doing both at the same time?
Well, I think it was singing first.
Yeah.
And then when I was in Brazil, then by accident they gave me an instrument, and I noticed that I have a talent for percussion. And from that moment on, it already started from the first concert, both always at the same time. So do at least backing vocals together with percussions, or being featured as a singer or as a percussionist. It's interesting because I never asked for it. If they hire me for a show to be a percussionist, it always ends up that at the end I have to sing something somewhere, or the other way around.
Gotcha. Did you live in Brazil, or you were in Brazil for a short period of time?
Just twice for a short period of time when I learned to play percussion. I mean, also I was on vacation and sightseeing, but also learned percussion. And the same happened to me when I was in Cuba. There was 5 times or so.
Wow.
When we played there, also we played at the jazz festival 3 times. So then, of course, you have a chance to study with these guys. They're amazing.
Yeah, especially in Brazil, they live the music, the percussion. There are so many good players. Did you ever go to Santiago, Chile? No, never been in Chile?
No, not yet.
Oh, you need to go, man.
I'm sure I love it.
They are in Argentina. They will love electronic music. Is very, pop music is very popular, but electronic music is very popular in Latin America. I don't know if Tangerine Dream has ever been there at all, before you or after you. I don't think so, but I don't know if they can play, but it's very popular, that stuff. So in the equivalent of high school here in Germany is the gymnasium. That's when you knew music is your thing. Instead of going to college, you decided, no, I wanna give it a try, music, being as a dancer or then a singer. And your parents say, yeah, go for it, no problem.
No.
Or they give you a hard time.
They were not very amused about that, me becoming a musician. I think they didn't take it for serious at the beginning. They thought, well, she's doing it for fun, It's just like, oh, okay, like the latest fashion, and Then I did it for years. They never showed up at any shows, and then there was a time when I played close to my home place in a big theater. So I invited my mom to come, and she was so excited. And she was like, she had no clue what is percussion actually. You have it if you don't work in the music field. A lot of people don't even know what percussion is. So when she was there, she was so proud of me, and she was like, "Oh my God, how could you do it?" And then they started to come to the shows, and they saw my own shows, and they've been to Tangerine Dream shows, and they loved it. So yeah,
wow.
The ice was broken, but it took some time,
It took a while to convince them, And then, what kind of music at the time? What kind of music were you listening to at the time?
I mean, we always listened to Santana.
Yeah.
The Platters. What kind of music? Everything influenced with Latin music.
Really?
Soul music, these type of things. But I remember these. She loved them the most, and then we played them over and over. We didn't have so many vinyls at the time, but this was more or less this type of music. Yeah.
What about Genesis or Peter Gabriel, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin? Do you like any of the stuff, or?
Yes, I do. I used to play in a cover band, a Pink Floyd cover band, but Genesis is a cool thing.
Oh,
Peter Gabriel, I like that too. Genesis is really cool, yeah. But I think we didn't have so much. we haven't been too much in this electronic direction, or so like more singers, like soul voices and less instrumental music. Yeah.
Yeah. And at home,
Only later.
I got you. And at home, you guys did have vinyl that you would listen to with your sister, or CDs. What kind of stuff were you listening at the time?
Yeah, this was kind of like Santana or like what kind of music? I remember my mom, she played the Platters. Only You was always in the circle. Yeah. And Roxy music, I don't know if you know this. And later on, of course, all this kind of things with Whitney Houston and more black music, soul music, yeah, and rock music. But we didn't have so many of these. We listened a lot to the radio, like Olivia Newton-John and these kind of things,
Sure.
So what was up at the moment? So, danced with the music, and then we were singing along. And
I got you. And then did you, way before you began, doing percussion and you joined Tangerine Dream, were you in another bands? You told me that you guys were a member of a cover band, right? That was the first band that you were part of it? The first cover band that you were part of it?
I started with Brazilian music. This is a Brazilian singer, Celia Amaro. I played with her a lot for the first 5 years. And then I had a chance
Europe? In Europe?
In Europe, yeah. There was a huge community with Brazilian music. A lot of people, Brazilian musicians, especially if you're a percussionist, you come into the Latin scene, either Cuban music or Latin music in general, or Latin pop. And this was a Brazilian project. And then later on, I performed with a singer, an American singer. His name is Michelangelo Davis. He lives in New York now. At that time, he lived in Vienna. And I played percussion and did backing vocals with him. And he inspired me a lot to become a lead singer too. Yeah, he believed a lot in my energy and my talent. And then he featured me a lot on his shows. Then later he went to Hawaii for years. But as long as he was there, we were very close and we had lots of fun. It was amazing, learned a lot of stage presence and, enjoying being on stage, doing music and being creative. Yeah, he was cool. Very eccentric.
It was difficult for you to kind of get loose and, and began taking advantage of your voice and singing. Were you shy at the time? You were nervous?
No, the point is this: I came from dance, yeah. And I think I teach 12 years in Vienna, hip hop and all these kind of things, like shows. I was used to do this in front of people, so this was not so far away from what I did before, yeah. But of course you have to work on your voice, and it's an instrument and it's muscles, and you have to do it constantly, yeah. Sure, you get this like emotional, and in your stage you're nervous, but after 1 or 2 songs and you start to relax but I think a little bit of nervousness is necessary to to kick ass. Otherwise it's boring.
See, before you joined the Tangerine Dream Band, you knew the band? I mean, you knew the music a little bit, or no?
To be honest,
nothing.
I didn't know anything, and I did not even know where I was going and where I was playing because they didn't tell me. I mean, Gerhard Gradwohl, he's the former guitarist. He invited me and he said, there is something electronic thing. Like I thought it's some kind of a DJ thing where I have to play. I had no clue. He'd go there and play a bit for them, and then you'll see maybe there's something for you to do. And then they invited me over, and I drove there, and I had no clue what to expect. Nothing. Yeah, it was dark and it was night, and then I went there, and it was pouring buckets, raining, like this. And then somebody was running towards me, and they said, "Oh, we take your Converse, don't worry." And then I sat there and I played, I think 1.5 hours with Edgar. He turned his back to me. He didn't even look at me. He just listened for 1.5 hours, and I was playing to electronic music. I enjoyed it. I didn't know what I was doing. I said, well, okay, fine. Funny situation, yeah. And and he turned around and he said, yeah, you got a job. And I said, okay, cool. And he said, would you mind coming to London? I said, I play in London too, not a problem. And then he gave me that little, it was an information material. Give it to me, and I drove home. And at home, I opened it, and I was like, "Who are these guys? Oh man, they've been nominated to Grammys! Oh my god!" I was like, "Jesus!"
And you didn't know that any of that?
No, I had no clue. I mean, because
My
this guy
God,
told
man.
me to go there and then play, and I was like, "Okay, why not?" You know, you get to know a lot of people in the music business, and then they have a show, and then they meet you, and then they want to see your performance, and you don't know who they are, and then later on you notice, okay, sometimes they don't even tell you because they don't want to, you know, tell anybody that there's an audition or so. But when I was at home, I looked them up, and I was like, oh, they are huge. Oh, how cool is this? I can't wait to perform with them. And then this is all how it all started, you know.
That was early in 2001, right? 20 years ago.
Yes, yeah.
My
In 2000,
God.
actually, this was when I was there. It was 2000, and I think the first show we had 2001 in London, Shepherd's Bush Empire, right? Yeah.
So you needed, so you didn't have to kind of audition formally. A friend took you there, you play, and you got the gig the first
No,
night.
it was an audition, but I had no clue that it was an audition.
Okay, good.
They tricked me, you know.
They tricked you.
They tricked me. But I mean, good for me, because if I would have known what they did, maybe I wouldn't have been so cool. And I was just, you know, I liked it, and it was fun. And I was playing, and he had some electronic drums there. I was like, he said, would you mind playing electronic drums? And I said, oh no, not a problem. And there were a lot of percussion samples on it, and I was like, I enjoyed it. And then he liked it because I mean, open for new stuff, and I have a good musical ear because maybe because I'm self-taught, or more or less this is the way I started, and it always helped me in this field because I'm more focused on the performance than, you know, just look into papers and trying to read the music. So I think he liked it. We always got along very well.
Yeah, Edgar Frost is he was a very nice people, and so many people have played Tangerine Dream, depending on the, you know, like every 3 years, 2001 to 4, then 5 to 8, they were changing musicians, people coming and going, and there's a lot of very good musicians. And then, you know, Tangerine Dream began doing. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
And then they began doing a lot of soundtrack and other kind of stuff, and I like. They're very good, but I like the early years of Tangerine Dream, not the latest one. You know, they became very commercial. They would put in so many albums and stuff like that. I like the early periods, but they're very, very good. I mean, I have about 60 or 70 CDs from Tangerine Dream.
Yeah, amazing.
I like some of them. You were there before us. So then. You pass the kind of the audition, and they say, okay, we are going to be touring. Here's a list of all the cities that we are going to go, and here's our music, so you need to learn it. Yeah. And then, wow, man, that's unbelievable.
It was a huge experience, and I mean, you really had to be very professional in everything, you know, on time, prepared, the way you look, the way you perform, you know. You learn a lot, and then these incredible venues where we were performing, it was incredible. So I think not a lot of musicians have that possibility to be on all these stages. So I could say from my heart that I always gave it my all, you know. So, you know, I think it's like a must to support and respect the compositions and try to bring in all the energy and all that you can do, you know, to make it, you know, just lift it up even more, you know.
And I'm quite sure at the time you were in kind of sort of into fashion design at the time, because I see your outfit that you were in Tangerine Dream, you look very cool. So it wasn't an accident. You have certain goals in life, you know. So
Yeah, I mean, me and Linda, we always had a lot of fun. She was into fashion a lot. She had
yeah,
all
Linda
these
too. Yeah,
huge
yeah.
buttons, and I'm more into that sporty and Spice Girl something. And she was more the lady, you know. So we never. I mean, we always looked at each other and said like, "You have your style, and I do have mine. How cool is this?" You know. And then later on, when I did my, I think I did which album was it? Irresistible, I think, or before, when I used to use the fashion that I did myself, you know, by accident. It also happened by accident, and I said, why not to do something with it? You know, just to do something for the fans. Like they don't want to have my face on their T-shirts. They need something that they could wear every day. You know, but it has to have something, you know. It has to be a little special,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Colorful, like my person, yeah, like my life.
Of course. Are you still in touch with Linda or no? No.
Sure, yeah, we're very good friends. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they dependent. Yeah, over the years, like I say, Tangerine Dream have new people. Some people come back. Some people are new. Some people retire, and you know,
Yeah.
some of the guys, the other guys become very famous. So they form their own bands and they do
Yeah.
a lot of.
But I think music is like this, you know. Sometimes the way it touches, and then you go your own direction. You have to sometimes follow your heart and do what you need to do, or the music that comes out of you. Like my music is very different from the music of Tangerine Dream, but still I have a lot of fans still writing to me every day, some little messages are following my music career, which is a very nice thing, and that they can also appreciate different music, you know. But never forget that the performances you did already with them, with Tangerine Dream, and so I think there's it's movement. Everything is movement. Life is like this hot, cold, dark, light, you know, and then sometimes you work with people and sometimes you don't. And then sometimes years pass by and then you get back together and then you work later on again. You know, this is the music business. It's like this.
Yeah, and you were with Tangerine Dream for well, like 15 years almost. There's some period that you like better than the others. I mean, early the 2000 versus 2005, or
I think the concerts we did at the beginning were more up tempo, more rocky,
yeah,
and then later on it was slower or more, you know, like ambient sounds and these kind of things. So for me, for playing percussion, the previous things were easier. I mean, to bring some additional grooves to it. And then, but every period had its magic. I mean, depending also on the audience that you'd like to reach. Yeah. So yeah, I can tell. I mean, I liked certain songs more because it was more made for percussion. That's why probably. But I also like the parts. I don't know if you have ever heard these. We did Dante Alighieri. We did the trilogy.
yeah, of course, yeah,
I sang in Spanish on these. Yeah, so this was like a challenge too. You know, he just gave me the lyrics, and I was like, okay, make a song out of it. I was like, okay, which is like a story. You know, it's not like a song that you have in rhymes or so. It's just like, okay, go girl, let's record. Pling. I was like, oh God.
yeah.
Pero no te preocupes, yo voy a hacerlo. No te preocupes.
Man, I'm surprised. You can speak Spanish if you want. I don't.
Yeah, I have a terribly Cuban accent with a Portuguese accent. I mix both. I say actually it's Portuñol.
But it's a lot of. You still practice Spanish with some of the people there in Vienna, or no? Or no?
Yeah, because I had a lot of musicians in my band were Cubans.
Oh,
and
that's right.
Brazilian people. So you can't sit in a rehearsal and be the band leader and don't have no clue what they are talking about.
You need to speak the language.
You need to, and you have to talk with, yeah, it's body language. If you're in Cuba, it's tú sabes, pero tú sabes, pero. This is the way they talk. You have to be one of them.
I'm surprised you didn't marry like a guy from Brazil or a Latin guy there.
I was married to a Cuban guy.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Why it
But
didn't
I
work
think
out?
nobody.
It didn't work out.
Yeah, it was for a long time, but we always kept it secret. But it was a lot of fun, and I loved the family, and I loved being in Cuba, and we did a lot of good songs together, and he was fun, yeah. So, but like life is like this. For a time, it was okay, and then everybody goes his way. But this is fine. We are great friends still, and sometimes we work together and talk on the phone or so. And I know his family, and so this is all good.
That's pretty good. Recently I interviewed Thorsten for Tangerine
cool.
Dream, and he's a very nice guy too. Okay. All the Tangerine Dream people are cool. I need to interview Linda. You need to put me in touch with Linda too. Linda personalities.
I will.
Of course I never met her, but the two of you are different. I think you are a lot more outgoing than Linda does. But they're very good music. And now they have another lady in Tangerine Music is Yoshiko.
Yoshiko?
Yeah, who played the violin, and it's very good stuff. I mean, and Ulrich, that I like his music too. Yeah, Tangerine Dream has been for me because I like electronic music. It's one of the best bands in the world in electronic music. But I like a lot of different things, from Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Depeche Mode, Pat Benatar, Blondie, Coldplay. But where I live, Iris, there is a lot of music venues. So every band come this area, Virginia or Washington, D.C. Because we have, now with the pandemic, I'm going crazy because I cannot see shows,
Oh, yeah.
But hopefully we'll be seeing soon. So let's talk a little bit about your stuff. Tell me about the Coisas Boas.
Okay. This is a CD I did together with a Cuban guitarist, Ariel Ramirez.
Yeah.
Years ago. He has such a good taste in whatever he plays, and every time we were in a rehearsal room. Are you okay?
I need to get my pen. Sorry.
Yeah. Every time we were in the rehearsal room, every time he plays just some chords, it opened my heart, and so did his when I was singing, and so we decided to do that album Coisas Boas, with some songs in Portuguese and the rest I think was in English. Beautiful. It's a beautiful duet. I mean, I think the biggest formation on it was about 5 musicians playing. But most of them is just him and me, voice and guitar, or voice, percussion, and guitar. Yeah, a nice project. Yeah.
Yeah, you have done a lot of different albums in the electronic stuff, the R&B, and then the Portuguese. Man, you have a wide range of different things.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's and I noticed last night in Spotify, some of your music is in Spotify, not everything, right?
It should be, but I maybe have to check. I don't know.
You have a lot.
I think I.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think, but the biggest albums are on Spotify. Actually, there should be all of them, unless Straight from the Shoulder, I think. But the rest, I don't know. I have to check. I don't. Honestly spoken, I don't know if they're all online.
What about Bandcamp? Do you have your stuff there?
On what?
Bandcamp. You know what I'm talking about?
Bandcamp. I think most of my music is on Spotify.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think some of this is on TikTok. I've heard that this is there too. Yeah. And on YouTube. So Apple Music and all these kind of Deezer and these platforms. But Bandcamp, I have never checked that. Maybe the distributor put it there. So
yeah. I will later on. I will send you an email how to do it, because you can. A lot of the people that I interview, they have the music there, and they do very well because Bandcamp only charges a small percentage. So most of the money comes to the artist, to you, and people can buy the CD, the vinyl, or just the digital format. So yeah, but but in Spotify, in order for you to get money, you need to have millions of hits. I mean, you need to be people doing more for promotion than anything else. And,
this is always the problem. If you're an artist, you care about the music and the compositions. Yeah, you're in the studio and you're working, and then you give it to someone that is responsible for this, putting this all out, and you try to send things to your social media platforms. Yeah. But sometimes I don't go back and check if this is there. I hear from people, I heard you on Spotify, or I've seen your music here and there. But honestly, we have to check this. I have to talk to these people and say, what's happened? Are we there? Are we not?
No. But YouTube is big for you, right?
What is big for me?
YouTube, and your stuff in YouTube, right?
Yeah. The music.
Your videos.
I don't hear you so well.
Your videos in YouTube. A lot of people listen to stuff.
So YouTube, I do, actually, I plan to put a lot of music videos on YouTube. I have so many live concerts. We have never. I have to cut the videos, or finish to cut the videos, that people can see how many performances we did and where and which kind of formations we played. There's a lot of really good material. Yeah, it will be on YouTube the next month.
Man, you're a very famous person.
Okay, I don't know, but thank you.
No, you are, man, you are. And I want to bring your attention to a couple of songs that I was listening in Spotify last night. What can you tell me about the vibe? How that composition came together?
Like Your Vibe?
Yeah,
okay, like you mean the song Like Your Vibe? Like Your Vibe is an interesting song. I had an experience. I was very much in love with the guy a long time ago, and then I was invited to a party, and it didn't work out. But then I went to a party and I saw another person that looked exactly like this person, and I thought to myself, how cool is this? He doesn't know anything about me and about the past. We don't have any story with each other. And it was like, boom, it clicked like this. And we just had a good evening, and this was nice and talking and whatever. And I said, well, sometimes you meet people and just something happens and you share that magic. Yeah. And then everybody goes his way. It's not a problem. But you just, and a song came out of this, which is a good thing. So it inspired me for a song. Yeah.
And it didn't work out with the guy?
This wasn't the point, but it was, just like dance for a story. I don't know. I think it wasn't even in this. I don't remember anymore. I don't know. But the good thing is that the energy was there. The vibe was really cool. Yeah. And then I went home and then I wrote that song because I thought sometimes you meet someone just once or twice and it sticks in your head forever, And other people, for years, and you forget about them because it never touched you in a way, yeah. But I thought it was a cool experience to find someone that looks similar to someone you really loved and you really wanted to be with, and then that could have been chance number 2.
It could. And that's the thing with music, right? That's the big thing with playing live. I mean, for me, right?
Yeah.
I like to go to the show for the energy of the crowd, the musician playing. The songs are different; they are not the same as the album. Every night changes. Uh, some bands make mistakes. They look at another, but they continue. That's the beautiful live music. For you now, for you, the energy of the crowd and giving everything every night, and
Yeah.
it's very different than looking for a concert at YouTube. It's not the same thing. Seeing a band live, it's having the energy and the vibe with, like you say, with the crowd is very important. What about No Need for Words? That's another beautiful
Yeah,
song.
I love that song because it actually describes that we should listen to our intuition more, that we should do less talking and more, feelings, or, empathy, being with someone, enjoying it, sharing a good time, but, less communication in a way of like discussing or fighting for whatever we want. Just, sometimes things are meant to be, and sometimes they don't. And if they don't, then it has a reason why this is the way. So I think we should just enjoy life even more. That's why the rhythm is so uplifting, and the music has a gospel feel in a way, which is like positive, just like the words say, no need for words. They are things that are meant to be this way, So it's just a little reminder to all of us to live in the moment and to read between the lines, because sometimes we just hear the words people say, but you have to translate what actually they try to say. And it's like if somebody would have a discussion and you're fighting, yeah. Maybe you just sit down, look into the eye of the other person, hold his hand, and don't talk for 5 minutes, and I think the war is over. This kind of feeling. This is what the song describes.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, that's a very well to explain the stuff. Yeah, yeah. What about?
It's difficult to explain music, It's just like you just can it's easier to sing the song and then you know what it's about, but everybody has his idea of what probably is meant to be, or remembers things in his life that are similar situations. Yeah.
It's easy for you to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, try to understand this situation.
Yes, yes and no, but I think the things I'm talking about in my songs are things that more or less everybody has already lived in his life. It's not a complicated thing. I know a lot of people that write about politics or nature, and so this is not mine are more about feelings, or people that are close or separated or hurt, or it's more or less about feelings. So everybody knows these kind of feelings in a way. And sometimes at shows I see people sitting there that get the lyrics, that understand the words,
Yeah.
and crying, and then I look at them, and then they come after the show and they said, "You touched my heart so deeply, because what you said is exactly what I've been through. Maybe it was a different story, but you remember what you lived through." So maybe that's why, I like writing lyrics, and they have a meaning to me. A lot of people just listen to the music or to the melody,
Yeah.
but some do listen to the words.
What about What I Believe?
What I Believe was a song I wrote together with Hubert Tubbs. He used to be the ex-lead singer of Tower of Power.
Yeah.
And maybe you know Tower of Power.
Yeah, of course, I know that.
Okay, so, and at that time, Ivan Ruiz Machado, which used to be my husband, but the producer of the first album, we came, the three of us had the idea to write that song, and then this brilliant lyrics that Hubert wrote, and then we added something of it. And we didn't have a studio at that time, a real one. So we had two doors. We closed two doors, and we had a cupboard, a carpet over it. And Hubert and me were standing down under and sweating. It was horrible, but it was such a cool take. This song is about real, true love, about emotions. If you find the real one, your soulmate, and deep feelings, and how beautiful it can be if you find the right one. So we all gave it our all. It's an older song actually, but we all loved it so much. I said, guys, why won't we just finish it? And it doesn't matter if it's already like a little retro from the sound or so. Just spread it with the people, and they love it because it's such a wonderful melody in my opinion. Yeah.
No, absolutely, man. What kind of, besides your own music, what kind of music do you listen to nowadays?